Okay, well, the place to start is English Profile. What is it? Well, it's a very long-term research program which has already been going for a number of years. And different groups in different institutions are working on elements of this big research project. And what we're all looking at is what the Common European Framework actually means for English. We've been working as teachers with these descriptors, the can-do statements, for example, for so many years now. But let's have a think. What do they actually mean? How do they translate, not just in terms of skills, but in terms of language? And the language that I've spent a lot of time looking at is learner English. And this is one of the big aims of English Profile, to investigate what learner English is really like. The long-term goal of English Profile is to develop a set of reference descriptions for each of the 6 Common European Framework levels. So going from A1 right up to C2 to develop these descriptions. And, as I alluded to just now, we're not just thinking in terms of can-dos, activities. We're not just thinking in terms of language skills, reading, writing, listening, speaking, but also trying to look at vocabulary and at structure, at grammar. And what I'm doing is a big enough job in itself because I'm looking at the first 4 levels of vocabulary. So I'm looking at vocabulary from A1 through to B2. Well, let's just remind ourselves what the Common European Framework levels are all about. There are these bigger levels. There is A, there is B, there is C. And as I said, I'm not actually looking at the C levels myself. We're looking then at the basic user, the breakthrough and wastage levels, and the independent user, threshold and vantage. And in terms of vocabulary, I think there are some significant differences across those levels. So if we think, first of all, about the basic user, if you're starting out as a basic user at breakthrough or wastage levels, you are getting to know a series of familiar topics. You're getting to grips with things like your family, where you live, where you work. And to do that, you need some high-frequency words. But probably you only need the top senses of those words. What you're also going to need is ways of putting words together. So you're going to need these grammatical words, the building blocks of language. And what an A1 or certainly an A2 learner is also picking up on, often very successfully, is formulaic phrases. Things like see you soon. They have no trouble with see you soon. They may not actually know how soon operates at A1, but they can give an appropriate exit greeting, see you soon. All right, so that's the A levels. If we think about the B levels, B1 and B2, that's threshold and vantage. Well, here, as a learner, you're broadening out. So you're encountering less familiar topics. I think also you are, or you should, be getting to know more senses of words that you've already met. So these very high-frequency words that you met in A1 and A2, you need to understand how they work a bit better and get some additional meanings for those words. And then I also think that in B1, and certainly by the time you reach B2 level, you are focusing on collocations, on phrases, and trying to grapple with phrasal verbs. And phrasal verbs, for many learners, are problematic.